Sidelines of the 6th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, in Nairobi, Kenya. President Zuma said the summit provides a win-win partnership for Japan and Africa. South Africa and Japan signed an agreement that will see an increase in investment opportunities. These will be actively marketed by Invest SA and Japan External Trade Organization. Japan will also double the number of South African students attending traineeships there to 40. During the two-day conference, the World Bank and the Global Fund committed to invest $24 billion to accelerate universal health coverage in Africa. South Africa, which is already benefiting from training and human resource development by Japan, is keen to see this expand to the health sector. In a bid to reduce its carbon footprint, South Africa is now looking toward more renewable energy sources, including partnering with Japan to expand its hydrogen fuel cell projects. Now, for more on the story, we cross live to our reporter Sarah Kimani in Nairobi, Kenya. Good evening, Sarah. Now, take us through the highlights of the final day of TICAD.
Well, good evening, Tabile. As you rightly say, today was the last day of the summit. And one of the things that African leaders, together with Japanese leaders, did is that they adopted what they are calling the Nairobi Declaration. The Nairobi Declaration is a set of goals that have been put together, and they will move over 3 years. And these are goals on infrastructure development, which will take not just in one country, but projects that cross across borders. Take, for example, in Kenya, they will be developing the Mombasa port. In South Africa, they will be working with the Southern African region to develop the Northern Corridor project, which is championed by President Jacob Zuma. And they will also be working with the World Bank and the Global Fund to ensure that the universal health coverage goal is attained. Now, Sarah, when we spoke to President Zuma, one of the things that he told us is that what the continent is looking for is projects that cut across the continent. And he said this is because they realize sometimes when deals are struck between one country and another, especially with developed countries, some of the developing countries here in Africa, some of the countries are left behind. And so this time they are moving together collectively. And that is why most of the projects, deals that were signed here are not for one country, but cut across countries. Of course, I'm sure the audience is wondering, how will South Africa gain from the deals that were signed here? Just to mention a few, South Africa has been sending 20 graduates to Japan for traineeship, and apart from going to universities there, they work in companies in Japan. Now that will be increased from not just 20 students, they will double that number to 40. The Minister for Health also told us that he is in talks with the Japanese government to see that they help South Africa set up universal health coverage in the country. And also in terms of trade, one of the things that happened here is that Invest South Africa, Invest SA, and the Japanese government signed a deal where in every country there will be specific desks for each country to encourage investments.
Sarah, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for that update. That was our reporter Sarah Kimani joining us live from Nairobi, Kenya for a wrap of the TICAD summit.